11 News. Coverage you can count on.
Take a look at this. Massive flames. These two house fires raged early this morning, just blocks apart, and now both are under investigation. Good Friday afternoon. I'm Liz Kilmer. Channel 11's Mike Holden covered those fires as breaking news this morning, and since then, he's talked with neighbors who are shaken and demanding answers.
These two fires are quite literally 5 blocks apart from one another, and caution tape, it's still in place. The damage here is extensive, from the top to the bottom and all the way in the back, and public safety says this is being considered suspicious. Channel 11 was right there as fire ripped through 3 properties along Beltshoover Avenue. 911 got the call just before 1:30 this morning. It all started in a vacant house and quickly spread to the 2 neighboring homes. That fire ultimately left 4 adults homeless. Public safety says 2 of the homes are a total loss. Luckily, no one was hurt or killed. Then, just minutes later, and again 5 blocks away, firefighters rushed down the road to Freeland after getting reports of another house fire. Neighbors say the flames were unbelievable. That home was also vacant. However, the fire spread to several trees and even jumped to a neighboring home, causing extensive smoke and water damage. 2 people lived there, were forced out, and they just want answers.
I don't know, but who's ever doing it, they could cost somebody their life or their home, and it's not a nice thing to do, you know, for somebody to deliberately go around setting fires like that, because we could have been in there dead by just from the smoke.
And the American Red Cross is now assisting all 6 people who have been displaced from these various fires. In the meantime, I'm now talking with those folks directly. Their message to the person who called 911 and their true sense of gratitude to the people who knocked on their doors to tell them to get out. For Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Beltshoover, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
Mike, thanks. And firefighters had to battle more than just flames in Westmoreland County. Crews had to get out of the house quickly here when fireworks or ammunition started going off inside. And you can see that smoke there, some flames near the top of that home. This was along McKee Avenue in Monessen. The cause of that fire is under investigation. All right, let's get a check on your weather this Friday afternoon. Meteorologist Jessica Faith joining us now. Jessica, I hope we are finished with the snow and the cold. I am ready for those 60s and 70s again.
Well, the 60s will actually be here this afternoon. This midday, we're starting to warm up a bit in the 50s, so not feeling too cool out there. Still may need a sweater if you're headed out to lunch right now. 54 degrees in Pittsburgh, 54 in Butler, Beaver, Greensburg. 54 is a really popular number this midday. Temperatures will continue to increase again near 60 degrees. We have a good bit of cloud cover in place, so we'll see more clouds than sun, but decreasing that cloud cover as we head into the evening hours. But we will be increasing rain chances this weekend. I'm going to break down your weekend forecast and the chance for rain coming up in just a few minutes.
Jessica, thanks. And breaking at noon, the Allegheny County Health Department just released its latest number of COVID cases. So in the last 24 hours, there have been 350 new cases. That's up by 51 from the day before. The new cases range in age from 1 month to 87 years. And CDC advisors are meeting right now to decide whether to resume use of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. They paused the 1-shot dose last week after a handful of reports of rare blood clots. NBC's Tracy Potts explains what to expect from today's meeting.
As the U.S. surpasses 32 million COVID cases, a panel of CDC experts meets today to review the data on Johnson & Johnson's 1-shot vaccine.
We need to make a decision quickly, and I'm really hopeful that we'll be able to use the vaccine soon.
6 reports of rare blood clots led states to stop administering the vaccine. Today, experts will look at more recent data to determine if the benefits outweigh the risks.
You're talking about 1 in a million of a rare condition versus saving potentially tens of millions of lives. Well, that's a pretty good one to look at positively.
The company notes that more than 7 million people got the shot, almost all with no serious side effects.
I would hope that at the end of this week that the population in general will feel more confident about taking a vaccine.
Continue to outweigh these risks.
Europe has resumed use. Advisors could decide to add a warning. The CDC is also considering whether people who've been vaccinated still need to wear a mask outside. Tracy Potts, NBC News.
And the CDC generally follows its advisors' suggestions. It is not clear, though, when the panel will make its recommendations. But as soon as they do, of course, we will send you an alert on our WPXI News app. And new at noon, Moderna is working on a booster shot for COVID variants. The drug maker hopes to have it ready by fall and says it would include a vaccine against the South African strain. Now, meantime, Pfizer says its existing vaccine appears to be effective against the UK and the South African variants, while one study of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine found it is effective against the South African variant.
As a mom, I'm just telling people to be vigilant.
A local girl is being treated for rabies after getting bitten by a bat. And unfortunately, she may not be the only one in danger. Channel 11's Lori Hoy explains.
This is where neighbors tell us several children were playing around with a rabid bat here in Pitcairn. One of the children got bit. Now the Allegheny County Health Department has issued a warning. Pitcairn Police and the County Health Department have contacted the parents of 3 children who may have handled the bat, urging them to seek medical treatment. It was Monday afternoon when the kids found a bat in the area around 2nd Street and Center Avenue. We're told they were touching it and passing it around. A 9-year-old girl got bit and was taken to the hospital. She already got 2 rabies shots and needs 2 more. It wasn't until yesterday that the bat's test for rabies came back positive. The little girl's mom told Channel 11 that if it wasn't for her neighbor, she wouldn't have known her daughter got bit.
So as a mom, I'm just telling people to be vigilant, because like I said, had I not known my daughter got bit by that bat would be long gone.
So what do you do if you encounter an animal that could have rabies? We'll have that part of the story tonight at 5. From Pitcairn, Lori Hoy, Channel 11 News.
Lori, thanks. And in developing news, a big story we've been following. Pine Richland's former football coach shared a letter with Channel 11, which he says he got from the district explaining why he was fired. Now, the letter stated school leaders found hazing, rites of passage, and intimidation in and around the football program, particularly in the locker room. The letter also said that Coach Eric Kasparovich failed to report serious matters, including recruiting violations and off-field fights. Now, Coach K denies all the allegations. He says the board twisted his words to fit its narrative. He says he will never apologize for trying to make players winners on the field, in the classroom, and in life. Now, the school has posted the job for head football coach. Kasparovich says he's reapplied and still hopes to be on the sidelines this fall. And with COVID cases going down and vaccinations going up, criminal jury trials will resume Monday at the Allegheny County Courthouse. The president judge decided to have one jury trial at a time for safety reasons. Some trials will be held at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center, which also happened in the fall before COVID cases started to spike. Harsher penalties for Pennsylvania's Move Over law take effect next week, and that, of course, is the law that's meant to keep emergency responders safe on scenes. Now, the goal is to strengthen the state's existing steer clear law. That's when you move into another lane when driving past an emergency response on the side of the road. Drivers must slow down to 20 miles an hour below the posted speed limit if you can't totally move out of the way. Now, come next week, you'll face double the fines for not following those rules. Green energy and jobs, that's the focus of the final day of President Joe Biden's virtual climate summit happening right now. It comes after the president pledged that the U.S. will cut emissions in half by the end of the decade. Channel 11's Samantha Manning joins us from Washington with more on what's happening today.
Today, President Biden is working to make the case that green energy policies will mean more jobs and more economic opportunity here in the U.S. We're hearing from key business leaders and Biden administration officials about the potential for job creation. Republicans have criticized President Biden's climate policies, saying they'll drive up the cost of energy. So today, the president's focus is on showing that green energy can be good for the economy and for average Americans. Biden administration officials like the Transportation Secretary and the Energy Secretary are part of today's ongoing conversation. And business leaders like Bill Gates talked about the need to invest in more green energy.
We need new zero carbon products that are just as affordable, that have what I call a green premium of zero. Now, it will be hard to create those products, but we can do it if we invest in innovation and build the infrastructure for the transition to a clean economy.
President Biden has said he's hoping this summit will help repair what he has called the country's damaged reputation when it comes to addressing climate change. In Washington, Samantha Manning, Channel 11 News.
And there's a new program in Pennsylvania designed to help communities get rid of so-called forever chemicals that may be in their water. The Penvest PFAS remediation program is the first in the state to help communities limit exposure to forever chemicals. Now, they are used in everything from pizza boxes to paint to firefighting gear because they're so resistant to grease, oil, water, and heat. In lab animals, large amounts caused cancer and birth defects. And the search continues to find a missing submarine that is running out of oxygen. This is a wild story. The Indonesian sub was training Wednesday when it went missing with 53 people on board. More search shifts set sail today, and military officials are rushing because they say that sub only has enough oxygen to last until tomorrow. And plans are underway to build an apartment complex in North Oakland. According to the Pittsburgh Business Times, the Julian Apartments would be along Melwood Avenue behind the Porsche dealership on Baum Boulevard. There would be 128 units. An online presentation is planned for Tuesday.
And rain is planned for this weekend, but it won't be a complete washout. I'm going to let you know the best chances to get outside this weekend.
And still ahead, running out of patience and running low on information. The obstacles many face as they wait for their latest stimulus check.
2, 1, 0. Mission and liftoff.
And with that, another SpaceX rocket is headed into orbit. How today's flight could eventually lead to sending humans back to the moon. The contract dispute between the United Steelworkers and Allegheny Technologies continues. Yesterday, the union rejected an ultimatum by the company to accept its latest proposal by Monday or face a costlier alternative. If the union doesn't take the deal, ATI says it will have to change its proposal to an offer that, quote, begins to reflect the costs incurred by ATI as a result of the strike. 1,300 workers went on that strike in March. History was made this morning in Florida by the SpaceX rocket launch. 2 NASA astronauts and 2 international crew members are on board the spacecraft that's bound for the International Space Station. NBC's Jay Gray was there watching that liftoff and has more details for us now on the mission.
Hey there, what a beautiful liftoff early this morning. Mission managers say everything went exactly as planned. The crew now on their way to the International Space Station.
2, 1, 0. Mission and liftoff. Godspeed, Endeavour and Crew 2.
Tearing away from Pad 39A.
Endeavour launches once again.
The fiery power of the Falcon 9 rocket stunning as it cuts through the early morning darkness.
Falcon 9 now traveling at more than 1,500 miles an hour.
The orange glow lighting a path to the International Space Station and beyond.
I think that's the thing about, human spaceflight is that it's one of those things that makes people excited about the future.
The trip to the ISS is expected to take about 24 hours, and when they dock, this international crew will get straight to work.
Every single activity, every single experiment, every single operation leads to the Artemis and Gateway program.
Artemis is NASA's plan to return to the moon in the next 3 years and eventually establish a lunar base camp and an orbiting lunar outpost that will be a gateway for deep space travel.
It's a very, very, very exciting time for human exploration right now.
And we're in the sunlight over the Atlantic Ocean with the Dragon spacecraft. All in all, a great day.
The astronauts scheduled to spend 6 months on the International Space Station. Jay Gray, NBC News, Kennedy Space Center.
And much closer to home, American and Southwest Airlines are gearing up for a busy summer season. The 2 carriers are ramping up their flight schedules thanks to a recent surge in bookings. They say it's because more people are getting vaccinated. American and Southwest are the 2 biggest airlines at the Pittsburgh International Airport. Overdose deaths are on the rise across the country, and tomorrow, if you have the opportunity to get rid of unwanted medications that could be abused, you have that opportunity, rather. It's all part of the National Drug Take-Back Day. The DEA program safely disposes of prescription drugs in hopes of reducing addiction. And sites will be set up across western Pennsylvania. You want to go to the state's Department of Drug and Alcohol Program website to find a location near you. Well, many people still haven't gotten their 3rd stimulus checks, and getting answers from the IRS is no easy task. I found that out yesterday. Now, the IRS started processing the payments on March 12th and says if you're eligible and haven't gotten one yet, it doesn't mean you won't. The IRS website has a Get My Payment option where you can try to track yours down, but some people are getting a payment status of not available. One woman even tells us that the site says she already got her payment, though it's not accessible in her bank account.
We're dealing with the pandemic, the uncertainty of the pandemic, and now you have to deal with this. And this is coming from the government.
Yeah, I tried to get answers for her yesterday, but really didn't have any luck. And the IRS site actually tells people not to call them as their phone operators don't have information other than what's on the website. And results of the 2020 census are expected to be released next week. The Census Bureau set an April 30th deadline to finalize the numbers. This data is important, and it's actually used to decide how many congressional seats each state gets. Here in Pennsylvania, we are expected to lose a district, and it has some lawmakers worried for next year's midterms.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
We're looking a little bit more cloudy outside as we look at the tower cam, and the tower cam has been moving. Why? Well, we're a little breezy. Winds coming from the west-southwest at around 13 miles per hour. Here's a look across the area, and you see those elevated winds that we have this midday coming in right now at 15 miles per hour in Indiana, 14 mile per hour wind in Washington, 12 mile per hour wind for Beaver and Greensburg. Here's a look at your wind gusts today. Overall below 20 miles per hour, but still a little breezy, getting a little better this afternoon and this evening. And temperatures getting better this afternoon. We'll be near 60 degrees for today's high. Hey, today is National Picnic Day. If you wanted a reason to get outside and have a picnic, you may need a sweater today. Depending on your comfort level, temperatures near 60, pretty fair, pretty mild, but we will be warming up as we head into the weekend. Speaking of this weekend, we have rain chances. Not what you want to hear, but what you may want to hear is that it's not going to rain all day. Overall, during the daylight hours, we're looking to be pretty dry. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here on Storm Tracker. First thing in the morning tomorrow around 6 a.m., maybe heading out and about, looking pretty good, even seeing a good bit of sunshine in some locations. As you walk outside, maybe even grab those sunglasses, enjoying the start of the day. Know that rain will be pushing back in, but before the rain, cloud cover comes. So by midday, looking pretty cloudy. You'll ditch the sunglasses and grab the umbrella as we head into the second half of the day. So the rain will be coming in farther toward the south, moving toward the north. So those who may be seeing rain by 5:30, Washington, Uniontown, Morgantown, and then it's going to be spreading farther toward the north as we go later into the nighttime hours. So hearing the pitter-patter of raindrops on the window as we sleep across the area. Pretty widespread coverage by this point, but then we'll be decreasing coverage Sunday morning, and we'll hold on to maybe a few spotty showers. So where it looks like the earlier in the day is better for outdoor activities on Saturday, really the later the better. Looks better for outdoor activities on Sunday. So here's 3 p.m. Not only are we losing the rain, but bringing back the sunshine, looking overall really nice and nice temperatures by this time as well. So really trending in the right direction as we head throughout the first half of the day on Saturday, but then second half of the day really coming in nice with the sunshine, warmer temperatures in the 60s. And if you like warmer temperatures, I mean, just check out the beginning of next week. So we have some warmer air coming in on Monday, 66 degrees, mostly sunny. And then we have a double dose, more warm air coming in on Tuesday, which brings us into the 80s, which is a really nice change, especially considering that just the other day, do I have to remind you, we had snow, we had some snow flurries. So really feeling like summer actually, paired with a good bit of sunshine and overnight lows warming as well. So we get out of the 30s, and as we go into next week, overnight lows in the 60s.
A Colorado-based brewery introduced a new beer for Earth Day, and it doesn't taste very good, but that's the point. Torched Earth Ale uses ingredients that will be more common in a future that's impacted by climate change. So things like polluted water and tainted hops. The company hopes that the new beer will drive the conversation on climate change. And new at noon, the Scripps National Spelling Bee is undergoing a major overhaul. Organizers have added a lightning round to this year's competition. That lightning round would be used at the end of the finals if the bee hasn't identified a single winner. The bee had co-champions from 2014 to 2016, and the 2019 bee ended in an 8-way tie. Still ahead, the work being done locally to make sure everyone has access to healthy choices.
I'm sure that the family would like to know what exactly happened.
And a local cold case state police are still trying to solve nearly 6 decades later. State police are asking for help solving a cold case that's nearly 6 decades old. They say even the smallest clue or memory could bring justice to Tila Thompson's family.
There's a likelihood the person that even committed this horrific crime is not alive. However, I'm sure that the family would like to know what exactly happened.
The 13-year-old disappeared from Homewood back in 1967. Police found her body in a Salem Township landfill, but she wasn't identified until 2015 when investigators linked DNA to her surviving sisters. The only clue state police have is a dry cleaner's bag found near her body.
We're hoping that, maybe they remember her hanging out at, whether it be a laundromat or some type of, corner store back then.
State police admit time is running out to find her killer. That person could be in their 80s or 90s, but investigators say you never know what loose ends can still be tied up.
And I'm tying up the details on this weekend's forecast because we have rain, and up next in this next half hour, I'll let you know how much rain we're going to receive.
And if you want to add some mystery to your daily life, well, there is an app for that. How it works, coming up. And she's no longer in the classroom, but this teen isn't done with school yet. How she wants to keep serving the district that taught her. Team 11 meteorologist Jessica Faith rejoining us this Friday. Weekend is right around the corner, Jessica. Folks want to get outside. Yeah. They may be dealing with some raindrops.
Yeah, especially during certain parts of the day. I'm going to break that down in just a few minutes. But right now, if you're headed outside, Grab your jacket, maybe not a heavy one. We are in the 50s, but those temperatures will continue to rise in a pretty nice way, hitting that 60-degree mark by this afternoon. We have a good bit of cloud cover in place, increasing cloud cover into the afternoon, but also decreasing as we head into tomorrow morning. But clouds kind of go up and down as we go throughout the next 3 days, but rain chances will also be going up. I'm going to time out the best chance for you to see wet weather and let you know when the showers can interrupt your plans, but also let you know about how much rain we can see as far as rain totals are concerned.
I found that it was important, and I found purpose in making an impact and a change in the Pittsburgh Public Schools.
That young woman there just graduated from high school, and now she's on the ballot for Pittsburgh School Board. And at 18 years old, Delaney Walton is the youngest candidate ever. She's a Duquesne University student, and she's running for school board, the director for District 9. Her path to leadership started back in 10th grade, and she said she wants the district to make decisions that are student-focused.
I want to be able to look over all the policies, procedures, and any programs coming in that will be beneficial to our students, and not policies or procedures that won't be beneficial to our students.
She tells us her main focus is being a voice for students. And new efforts are underway to see how the pandemic affected student learning. State education leaders have entered a new phase of an initiative aimed at learning loss. They're looking to develop new programs to help schools as they prepare for next year. The focus is on accelerated learning. Right now, they want to identify what learning methods worked best, how to build a safe and supportive community in all learning settings, and identify and align students based on progress. Because we don't know the long-term impact virtual learning will have, this program will track student progress for the next 2 years. And meantime, the Butler Area School District is offering free summer classes to help students catch up. High school students who struggled this year can retake 6-week credit recovery courses. The district told our Butler radio partners that they expect double or triple the enrollment. And a new study shows COVID patients who are overweight or obese are more likely to have severe symptoms. Oftentimes, that means people in minority communities who don't have access to healthy food. That's why Channel 11's Serafina James is getting real about these health disparities and the efforts to combat them.
Last month, the CDC announced that an overwhelming majority of those who were hospitalized, needed a ventilator, or died from COVID-19 have been overweight or obese. And just this week, a new study found that obese COVID patients were more likely to require oxygen and had a greater chance for requiring invasive mechanical ventilation.
80% of African American women are overweight and obese.
Hosted by One Hood Media, Ask a Black Doctor, a virtual panel of medical professionals who discuss issues related to the pandemic, is addressing health disparities among African Americans, especially those who are considered overweight and obese.
Overweight, it becomes an issue when it's impacting your health. If you can't walk because your joints are impacted and you need joint, that means you're carrying too much weight. Your organs, some people can't sleep. They get sleep apnea if they're overweight. This is when it becomes a problem.
The goal of the conversation was to ultimately find and explore ways to achieve health equity, especially during the pandemic. The panel of medical professionals says regular exercise can ultimately reduce your risk of having a severe case of COVID.
Being able to exercise, and when you do that, you release all of these different chemicals in your brain that actually help to make you feel better, perceive that you're feeling better, and so your immune system will respond to that.
But addressing obesity prevalence in the Black community isn't just about exercise, it's also about the proper diet. Dr. Tamika Carter says there's no magic diet that'll provide a quick fix like keto, stating that it may work in the short term, but it lacks health benefits in the long term. Instead,
everything in moderation, I think, is what you really should focus on. Carbohydrates, focus on the more complex carbohydrates, the whole grains, and plant-based proteins, lean proteins.
And Dr. Issa Davis agrees, stating change doesn't happen overnight. She suggests to jumpstart your health journey, start small and track your weight daily and set a goal and stay consistent.
We're all not going to be thin because we don't have that genotype to be thin, and that's okay. But we all can work to be healthier.
In Pittsburgh, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
If we couldn't walk a block.
And a little boy is safe thanks to a UPS driver. Take a look at what happened when that boy was nearly crushed on his front porch. This happened earlier this week in Illinois. The UPS driver had just dropped off a box that contained a 97-pound hammock. 4-year-old Max Pratt tried to bring the box inside when it tipped over and trapped him. You see that UPS driver run up there. He heard the boy screaming and came to help.
I just pictured my boys and, in his situation. Obviously, you go into full parent mode, full dad mode.
I always get the packages.
Okay. But this one was just what?
I couldn't get it. Well, the package man got it.
Little Max is just fine, and afterwards his parents met the driver on FaceTime so they could thank him. Well, failing to impress a date can leave you embarrassed or disappointed, but for one man, it landed him in court. A woman who Robert Chapman matched with in an online dating app turned him in to the FBI after he bragged to her that he was involved in the Capitol riot. This was a New York couple here, and investigators say he told her, quote, "I did storm the Capitol and made it all the way into Statuary Hall," to which she replied, "We're not a match." Investigators cross-referenced video of Chapman from body cam footage with his dating app profile picture. He is charged now with 4 misdemeanors. App makers are at their end of the ropes. How they say big tech is cashing in on their innovations. And no shortcuts here. New research into the benefits of good old-fashioned exercise. Well, if you're into Fortnite and wondering why it isn't in the App Store, or if you're maybe wondering why Tile Tracker stopped working as well, it's apparently all part of a battle in the tech world between big tech and app makers. NBC's Liz McLaughlin explains.
The next time the couch eats your keys, AirTag will help find them.
This week, Apple launched AirTag, a tracking device for lost items. An idea first pioneered by startup Tile 6 years ago.
This is what happens when you have a monopolist acting as a de facto regulator. The regulations will always favor the monopolist.
Tile was one of many companies testifying in a Senate hearing this week, examining whether big tech stifles competition in its app stores.
Let me be clear. Apple and Google are the only gatekeepers of this new internet.
Another day of pressure from lawmakers against big tech companies that have been in the hot seat over antitrust issues.
When Apple and Google set the rules of how to play in their playground, in a snap, they can make their own product that competes, and they can also change the rules.
Apple and Google arguing that their app commission, up to 30% on digital purchases, is fair.
The App Store's real success is the opportunity is created for software developers to build and distribute all those apps in the first place.
Our business only succeeds when our developer partners succeed.
Consumer advocates at the hearing said big tech is abusing its market power to push their own products and ecosystem.
And lock consumers in while they lock competitors out.
Some apps saying they fear retaliation from Apple and Google for speaking out.
We're all afraid as the reality senator. We're fortunate you are listening to us today.
And I hope the Justice Department is too.
Developers now asking regulators to intervene. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
A new report out today found Tesla's autopilot feature can be tricked. It comes less than a week after a deadly crash in Texas. Police say evidence shows no one was behind the wheel, but the company says the cars should not run unless someone is in the driver's seat. And engineers with Consumer Report says that people are finding ways around this. The engineers say that they were able to trick it by putting a small weighted chain on the steering wheel to simulate a driver's hand.
Rain chances return this weekend. I'll let you know when wet weather could impact your weekend plans.
And a less than graceful fan reminds us why baseball is best left to the pros. If exercise has fallen by the wayside during the pandemic, here's yet another reason to get back on the saddle. Researchers found that physical activity is as important for staying healthy as modern medicine. Some of the benefits include raising good cholesterol, lowering blood sugar, and helping to prevent different cancers. Experts say it is still best to get 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week. Well, are you frugal and adventurous when it comes to food? Well, guess what? There is an app for that. The Too Good To Go app connects customers hungry for cheaper food with restaurants that have extra. You just have to place an order at a participating business and pick up a mystery bag of food. It usually costs between $4 and $6. The idea is to cut down on food waste, which is actually a major contributor to climate change. And work is underway on a new walking trail at Hampton Community Park. Once complete, the limestone-covered stone path will loop around the northern section of the park and connect with the Rachel Carson Trail. It is being paid for with grants. The new trail should be completed by early next month.
Your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Maybe you want to get a walk in this afternoon. Well, you won't need the sunglasses. We're looking at more clouds than sun for most of the area. We're also looking at temperatures warming right now into the mid-50s. Still a little cool out there, but temperatures will continue to warm into near 60 degrees by later this afternoon. The wind has been a bit breezy today, so we see wind speeds right now, double-digit wind speeds, 13-mile-per-hour wind speed right now in Pittsburgh, Beaver, 16-mile-per-hour wind in Indiana. And coming in quite strong also in Washington and in Morgantown at 14 miles per hour. We're going to keep that strong wind this afternoon. Maybe you want to look at something to do later this evening. Maybe you want to head to the Riverside Drive-In. Temperatures will be in the 50s and falling, especially after sunset, which will be close to 8 p.m. Still looking at actually 8 p.m. on the dot, mostly sunny, 56 degrees, getting into the lower 50s by 9 p.m. Still at the movies later tonight by 10 p.m., lower 50s at 51 degrees. For tomorrow, we'll have increasing cloud cover, so we'll wake up with a good bit of sunshine. We'll have rain late in the day, so if you want to maybe head outside, get a walk in tomorrow. First half of the day really looking good. You'll need your sunglasses first thing in the morning. By midday, you can get rid of them and then grab your umbrella for those afternoon showers that will be increasing as we go later into the nighttime hours. Here's your breakdown of the rain chance for tomorrow. Best chance will be after sunset, so late into the day. And again, like I mentioned, morning hours looking good, even early afternoon looking great. But you're not going to want to be caught outside without your rain gear later into the second half of the day. Look at these temperatures, really where we should be for this time of year, in the 60s. 62 for your high tomorrow, 60 degrees for your high on Sunday. As far as how much rain we could see, we'll see just a few spotty showers early in the day on Sunday, but overall throughout most of the day on Sunday, we're looking dry, looking really nice. We're going to see for the most part less than half an inch of rain. Isolated locations could get just a little bit more, but overall less than an inch. So really not a whole lot of rain coming our way late Saturday into early Sunday. And actually most of the daylight hours looking to be nice and dry. Let's talk about next week. Next week, we're warming up in a really nice way. On Monday, mostly sunny. We have some warm air coming in, so temperatures getting into the mid to upper 60s. Really nice, but if you're a warm weather fan like I am, Tuesday may be your day. Mostly sunny paired with a very warm afternoon, getting into the lower 80s near 80 degrees with an overnight low at 60.
Jessica, thanks. Well, a Cincinnati Reds fan had a bad day at the park, and of course it was caught on camera. Take a look. You can see he nearly gets the home run ball, but it bounces away. He reaches for it, falls, dropping his snack, and somehow losing his shoe. To his credit, though, the guy seems okay. He is still smiling.
Hey, guys, I have something I guarantee you're going to love, because let me tell you, I got this out of the packaging, I started trying it, and all of my people who work for me came up to the office and were like, hey, I need one of those. Hey, I want one of those. Hey, can I have one of those? What am I talking about? This is Reathlete. It's a company that I'm sure you've heard about. They're on social media. Everybody's talking about them. It's the hottest ticket because this concept of percussive therapy is one of the hottest concepts going right now. You're going to have your choice of some different models. We have the Deep 4, we have the Fold, and it's going to come with, by the way, different attachments, which I absolutely love. So this is one that you're going to charge. When you charge, you're going to find whatever attachment you want, and then you're going to decide where you want this therapy. Physical therapists started out using this. Professional sports trainers use this on professional athletes. Then the athletes were using it, and then personal trainers and gyms are using it. And this is what everybody's talking about. So now I have it in here, right? All charged. I'm going to hold this for a minute. Huh? This is percussive therapy. This is almost like a deep tissue, but you're controlling it. This is going to be an unbelievable pinpoint massage. You know how you get all the tension right up here? Wait, hold on. Oh my, yeah. I'm sorry, am I ignoring you? So this is amazing. Now, there's a lot of great options on localsteels.com. There's even more great options than what I'm showing you here. But here's the deal. You wake up funny, you sit too long, your back hurts, you overdid it in the gym. Anyone would love this. Everyone would love this. You can do this while you're watching TV. You can do this anytime, day or night. Here's what I love. These can be extremely investment oriented. If you go to localsteels.com right now, they're 20 to 49% off. Do yourself a favor, make yourself happy. Trust me, you will love it.
An early heads up, the Mon Incline will be closed for 3 days next week. Routine inspections will begin Wednesday, and workers will perform brake and load tests. Shuttle buses will take passengers between the upper and lower stations. Today, Ross Township will honor a wrestling legend. They will rename a local park after Bruno Sammartino. Sammartino was the longest reigning champion in WWE history. He passed away in 2018. His passion for lifting weights led him to become one of the strongest men in the world. This afternoon, a renaming sign will be unveiled at Sangre Park. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Have a wonderful Friday.